Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so glad to see all of you who are here in this beautiful, magnificent sanctuary, large enough that we can spread ourselves out a little bit. And we're so glad to have everyone who is streaming with us this Shabbat, probably from all over the city, the country, and the world. We're just thrilled that you're here. We had to really go deep in our kishkas to decide if we could do a service that would be safe enough that we could keep anyone who wanted to come in person safe, which is why we're glad that all those who chose to watch online are doing that, and that we're asking everyone to really take care this Omicron moment with social distancing and mask wearing. We've been allowed by the city rules to take our masks off up here while we lead the service, but to ask you to keep your masks on all the time, so that even until you leave the building tonight, and take extra measures to keep yourself and everyone safe. And it's always interesting when Shabbat falls and it's Christmas Eve. I always think about this boy whose bar mitzvah I did very early on in my career. He's probably in his 30s now, and he told me in my office in Scarsdale that he would get his Hanukkah presents and then he would wrap them all up again so he could open them up on Christmas. And he just wanted to be like everybody else, and it was so hard to feel different. And on the other hand, I think about one of my favorite all-time SNL little videos that they made that suggested that as soon as everyone goes in to have Christmas, all the Jews just get the whole city to ourselves, and we can ride cable cars and just go do everything at the front of the line. So I don't know how you feel about being Jewish if you don't celebrate Christmas, but it's really wonderful that we can all come here together and really to do what you said at the very beginning, to say thank you. That's what every prayer says, and to come together with the beautiful prayers of Shabbat and just count our blessings as we count down the last days of 2021. So we're going to start with a really big blessing. I'm going to remask up in a moment, and that is that we have the special honor tonight of Diego Dayan and Daniela Bornstein and Ophelia. Hi, Ophelia, Rabbi Beth, and you have your little brother Theodore with you. Did you bring him? Good. So first, the family is going to come up and light the Shabbat candles for all of us, and we'll sing those blessings on page 2, and then we're going to welcome both Ophelia and Theodore into the covenant of the Jewish people. So come on up and light our candles for us, and we increase the light. Shabbat Shalom. I think it's very fitting that you lit a candle for Shabbat to remember and to observe Shabbat, and also an Ophelia candle and a Theodore candle with these two beautiful lights that you've brought into the world. And I'm going to give each one of you your own blessing, your own certificate, your own Hebrew name, and something else. And we're going to start with you, Ophelia, okay? Rabbi Beth, good to see you. And this is a special blessing for Ophelia. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu kayem et hayalda hazot. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people Israel by her special Hebrew name, Ruth, bat David ve'Ilana. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul as they have brought their daughter into the covenant. So may they, with wisdom and patience, lead her to a life filled with Torah, chuppah, and ma'asim tovim, learning in community, relationship worthy of God's blessings, and the pursuit of good deeds. Together we say, Amen. Amen. And Ophelia, we're going to give your baby brother his own little blessing, okay? This is his, and this is going to be his Hebrew name. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu kayam et hayeled hazot. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through his parents' loving care. Let his name, his special Hebrew name, among our people Israel be known as Natan, Natan ben David ve'Ilana. May his name be a source of joy to him and inspire him to serve our people and all humankind. May his parents rejoice in his growth of body and soul. As they have brought their son into the covenant, so may they with wisdom and patience lead him to a life filled with Torah, chuppah, u'ma'asim tovim. And together we all say, Amen. And when we talked together, you shared about a couple of family members that are very dear to you and how they connect with the names. There's a microphone there. If you would just tell us for a moment so we all share the blessing of those people that you're raising your children to remember.
Thank you so much for having us here today. It's an honor. We both were thinking on naming our kids in honor to our grandparents, as the kids' great-grandparents. In case of Ophelia, we're naming her Ruth in the honor of Diego's grandparent, Boris, who used to say, to tell Diego in Spanish, somos amigos o no somos amigos, which kind of like means, aren't we friends or what? So Ruth really means friendship and companionship, and we want her to remind her name to him. And in case of Theodore, we're naming him Natan because it means gift of God, and it's an honor to my grandfather who passed away a year ago, and he was his name was Matthew, which also means gift of God. He used to be a very protective grandfather for us. He used to say that he would want to have very big wings to keep us safe under them, and I really cherish him in my heart because of that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we want to, first of all, I'm going to give you just a couple certificates. And Ophelia, I don't know if you want to take this one, because it's people like that. But your parents can take the certificate. And look, we got you and your brother little matching Emanu-El t-shirts, so you can be matching when you feel like it. So we're so proud to have you in the community. And the cantor and I want to offer you, all of you, but both of you especially, Theodore and Ophelia, this special blessing.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
Ophelia and Theodore, may God always watch over you, bless you, and protect you, just as your family members want you to be protected.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's countenance shine in you and through you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך shalom.
May you always feel God's spirit of peace and wholeness connecting you to your family and to this community, and even to your friends around the world and in Argentina who might be up late just so they can see this. And we all say Amen and Mazel Tov.
Amen.
Mazel tov.
Siman tov v'mazel tov v'mazel tov v'siman tov v'mazel tov mazel tov v'siman tov v'mazel tov v'mazel tov v'siman tov
Yes, I thought Ophelia really liked your voice a lot. She really was just tuning into your singing. It was beautiful. There's a reading that just reminds us of the great spirit we bring into the enterprise of coming together in the Jewish community and Shabbat. It's on page 6, and I invite us to read all of it, all of us together. So please join me. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We're going to welcome in Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on page 20. And remember, toward the end of the prayer, we'll turn around and welcome in Shabbat and turn back around again. Welcoming Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem. Sing along with us, page 24. bottom of page 25, and you're very welcome to read along with me. It's a message we need every day, and Shabbat especially. And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too yourself may be a messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes. We rise for our call to worship, page 28. Bottom of page 30. The darkness of the first day differed from the darkness that preceded creation. The root of ma'ariv can also mean mix, suggesting God mixed light into the primordial darkness. The tiniest spark of light can transform darkness.
ומעביר יום ומאיחי לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריף הרבים.
Page 32, Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, לשוכבנו ובקומנו.
Please be seated and join us in Behavta on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
One of the things that binds the Jewish people together all over the globe is that we read the Torah week by week, the same parshiot. And so this Shabbat, we start the book of Exodus, Shemot, and we start the whole story of our core story of enslavement and liberation and desire for justice. But every single time we have a prayer service, we remind ourselves of Mechamocha, of that moment of profound praise of God for the gift of freedom. We're on page 40.
And this is an old Mizrahi melody, an old Eastern melody.
Page 43.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Another reason we come together on Shabbat is to bring all of our spirits together to ask for prayers of healing for those we know and love who need a blessing for healing. And so I'll ask you, if you're thinking of someone on this Shabbat, just to say their name out loud to be included in this healing blessing.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Another reason we come together on Shabbat is to bring all of our spirits together to ask for prayers of healing for those we know and love who need a blessing for healing. And so I'll ask you, if you're thinking of someone on this Shabbat, just to say their name out loud to be included in this healing blessing.
And we add to those names Frank Friedman, Rusty Holden, Lauren Knickerbocker, Micah Goldsmith, Lou Aronow, Lauren Van Horn, Carolyn Kreitzberg, Miriam Lipton, Gary Glassell, Ahuva Leora Bat Aviva, Miriam Bat Basia Benjamin, Esther Bat Avraham Avracha, Ruth Chaim Bat Edith, Janet Haas, Ricardo Castro, Bill Black, Kathleen Russell Hardin, and Jennifer Mosier. Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health, to be fully restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love, understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim.
It's so powerful when we can meld the oldest prayers and the more recent prayers, and all of them, we send them up and we send them out together. We turn to one of the oldest prayers, the Amidah. It starts on page 46, and we'll chant a few pages together, and then each take some time for our own prayer. And then when you've completed your prayer, please be seated. We're on page 46, and we all stand together.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elokei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, ve'Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachel ve'Elokei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imachot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'nechem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, U'shenei afar. Mi chamocha b'gevurot, Umi domeh lach, Melech meimit umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai cha'el hakadosh. line, the second word on the second line, but we begin with thank you. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, only one. So second line, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imoteinu, Le'olam Va'ed, Tzur Chayenu, Magesh Shenu, Eloheinu, Ve'imoteinu, Atahu Ledor, Ador, Tzur Chayenu, Magesh Shenu, Eloheinu, Ve'imoteinu, Atahu Ledor, Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, only one.
Well, here we are, 7 days until we send 2021 into the annals of history. I love this last weekend of December for many reasons. Even without COVID, everything slows down. Expectations for production tend to be lowered if you're not an essential worker. Periods of reduced expectations can be good for us all. Just so you know, a rabbi and a cantor will be fully available for any pastoral need that any Emanu-El congregant has, but the building will close during the coming week to give a much-needed rest to our very hard workers on our staff and to the building itself. How about you? If you are one of so many who find yourself on the go all the time, always racing to stay on top of your to-do list, think about slowing down your pace. Sadly, with Omicron, this is a perfect time to hibernate. And for some of you, the second season of Emily in Paris has dropped at exactly the right moment, and you know who you are. This slower time gives us the gift of more time to read, to think, and to reflect on the nature of how time passes. One of my favorite traditions of the last week of the year are the newspapers that print a collection of the photo images of this past year, and also the stories of those whose lives ended in 2021. Judaism always prompts us to reflect on our existence and on our purpose on earth. With High Holy Days still 9 months away, this last week in December is another opportunity to think about what we still have left to do in our time on the planet. I recently read a much acclaimed novel, Hamnet. Any other Hamnet readers here? A few of you. Historical fiction which imagined the impact of the death of William Shakespeare's 8-year-old son on his writing of Hamlet 4 years later. The book was timely with the 16th century version of pandemic and mostly sad. But author Maggie O'Farrell imagined one scene that had me laughing. 18-year-old William Shakespeare is in a romantic relationship with Agnes, and they intend to marry. Agnes shares her news with her stepmother, who shrieks about her choice. The Latin tutor? Him? That boy? That wastrel? That wageless, useless, beardless? On and on. Come on, that's funny, right? As far as she's concerned, this poor kid is never going to amount to anything. The novel was enjoyable because we never stop and think about the person before he became William Shakespeare or before she became Jane Austen. And while most of us will not achieve the Austen or Shakespeare level of fame, these stories remind us that we evolve over a lifetime and our potential to do something positive grows. If you have a teenager or a young adult who has not quite found themselves, keep this in mind. In the book of Exodus, which we commence this Shabbat, we learn that a certain Hebrew man marries a certain Hebrew woman, and they have a son, even as Pharaoh has decreed that all firstborn Hebrew boys will be killed. But the mother, Tereh Oto ki tov hu. This mom sees that her baby is beautiful. That's all she can see in the moment, and in an act of desperation, she hides him in a basket among the reeds of the river Nile. We know how Pharaoh's daughter finds the baby and rescues him. Even after she names him Moses, for a long time, he's just a lucky Hebrew boy saved by a powerful woman. Even when he marries a Midianite woman, he has not yet become Moses. One of the best parts of how Moses became, the whole how Moses became Moses narrative, is the way in which God chose Moses to partner in redeeming our people. Even Moses fails to see his own potential in the moment. With a quiet week ahead, there is no better time than to set aside some time in this coming week before we turn that calendar page to 2022, both to reflect on our own potential to be God's partners in the holy work of living in these times, and also to train ourselves to look for and see the potential in ourselves and in others. Take a moment and think about Emanu-El's preschool and youth education programs, which have been running for well over 100 years and kept going all the way through the pandemic to this moment. And that means that whether or not you yourself are a parent, just by being part of Emanu-El, you are investing in the potential of a generation that will be here after we are gone. In the Babylonian Talmud, Rabbi Joshua ben Levi asks Elijah the prophet, "When will the Messiah come?" Elijah responds, "Go ask him." The rabbi asks, "Where will I find him? Where is he sitting?" Elijah says, "At the gates of Rome." The rabbi says, "But how will I know which one he is?" To which Elijah replies, "He's sitting among the poor and infected, while all of them untie their bandages and then rebandage them together. He's the one who unties and rebandages each separately." Who is the next Jane Austen, the William Shakespeare, but not yet, the Moses and Miriams of this generation? The potential is in all of us and in those around us. May this Shabbat and the quiet, peaceful week ahead create space and time to glimpse that potential. Judaism believes in this potential so strongly that we are going to rise together. We turn to page 282 and we sing the words Aleinu, which means it is up to us because God has faith in our potential.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל חמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We turn to the Kaddish on page 294. And we mention with great sadness the death this past week of Peter Mayer, a former board member and leader of this congregation, who died this week and will be laid to rest. And we are in a period of Shloshim, 30 days of mourning, for Lynn DeRoy Braverman, Monica Lowenthal Buchnick, Lawrence Goldberg, Richard E. Immersheim, and Jane Graham. And we mark the yahrzeits of these beloved in our community. Mike Alterman, Robert Aronow, Rose Susnow Blumenthal, Jennifer Boyd, Sally Brandt, Morris Chetikel, Howard Milton Cohn, William S. Corvin, Pauline Elkin Davis, Mel DeVorson, Imre Endre, Joseph Feinberg, Morris Foreman, Iodit Friedman, Joyce Friedman, Robert Gerber, Richard Goldman, Rabbi Joel S. Gore, John Morris Greenberg, Hannelise Guggenheim, Alfred Heller, Diane Hendricks, Jakob Jabber, Jessel B. Jacobs, Jim Joseph, Rebecca Cars, Ida Kay, Harold Kay, Lillian Kasdan, Israel Kavinsky, Charlotte Kleinhaupt, Julio Koppel, Anatoly Kohlberg, Henry J. Landau, Thomas Langsdorff, Gilbert Levinson, Charles Levinson, Rose Levy, Stanley Liss, Fern Lowenberg, Manuel de Villa Miranda, Sadie Naxon, Abraham Nebenzal, Benjamin Nyman, Adam David Nemmer, Zachary Neuschatz, Lorraine Marks Newman, Oscar Padams, Seymour Phillips, Nancy Friend Pritzker, Whitty F. Rebarber, Ellen Rosenberg, Amelia Solomon, John J. Sampson, Lawrence Sanford, Theodore Shallett, James H. Schwabacher Sr., Jason Siegel, Joseph Siegel, Rebecca Sellinger, Edward Schenk, Louis Scheinfield, Patricia Siegel, Irene Rose Seidman, Irving Sofrin, Alan Solomon, Frank Sperling, Leland Spiegelman, Joy Spiegelman, Herbert Spiegelman, Rabbi William Stern, Lola Taubman, Hannah Thier, Stanley Tick, Max Trachtenberg, Gerald Walker, Isidore Waterman, Robert Weinfeld, Jacob Heinz Wolf, and Rabbi Jacob H. Vorsanger, who served this congregation from 1886 to 1908 and who started the Emanu-El newspaper, which became the J Weekly. And I'd like to ask if anyone else is saying Kaddish for a name that was not on the list tonight, if you would just say the name of the person you're saying Kaddish for. We honor all of their memories as Together We Rise. We're on page 294. And we say these words together. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mavarach la'olam ulmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. V'seh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Oh, Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Sure.
All right.
I'm happy to do that, Kiddush.
How about if I hold it and you sing it?
Can I hold it? I like to hold it.
Absolutely. I'm just going to give you.
It's a funny thing, but I like to hold it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you like to hold the glass when you make the blessing? Right?
Absolutely. Just want to keep you safe.
Thank you. Together, I believe it's on page 3 or 5. 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'v'ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'masei v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikrei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim.
L'chaim, it is
I
all
try to look
yours.
at everybody when I
All
make that
yours. A very special thank you to Jonathan Ferris, whose mom, Rabbi Helene Ferris, would be so proud to see her boy giving all of our non-Jewish musicians a night off tonight. So we're appreciative of you. When you bring your prayer books back to the prayer book cart, special treat back there, we have both a fortune cookie and some challah for you to take home with you tonight. We just ask that you keep your masks on and not eat it until you leave the building, and keep everybody safe.
Even, right?
What's that?
We're not even eating it in the courtyard. I
Not
believe.
even in the courtyard. Nope, you
Yeah.
get to take it straight to your Uber, to your home, and to a safe place to enjoy your fortune and your challah. Things keep going. Torah study tomorrow morning. There's a link on the website for that. Manny Yakudiel, is going to come tell a very powerful story here on Friday night, January 7th. MLK weekend is coming up. It's going to be, we hope it's going to be epic, and it's all on the website.
And come celebrate secular New Year's Eve next Friday with us here at Temple.
That's
We
right.
will have
There'll be a little
service, of course.
champagne.
Shabbat always happens, so come join us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.